Hello world, welcome back to Code Genius. In today's tutorial, I will be teaching you how to design an amazing looking landing page for your portfolio so that if someone visits your portfolio, they don't have to scroll down to your project section so that they get impressed. But you start doing it from the first moment itself. And stay along in the video. By the end of the video, I will be showing you a different robust trick to use this method along your portfolio besides the landing page so that it looks great and interactive. And one more thing to be noted is this tutorial will be a bit fast paced, so if you feel so, you can pause the video or you can slow down the speed and you can follow along. So without further ado, let's dive in.
We are starting with our basic markup, that is our index HTML file, the JavaScript file, and our CSS file in which our stylings will be there. So let me explain you the basic markup here. So we have our title, then we have linked our CSS file here, and we have included jQuery. I will mention the links. You can get the link from this W3 School website. I will mention this link in the description below, so you can get this link, copy this script tag and paste it in your head tag. Okay, so jQuery is used to simplify JavaScript, and then we have our web page that we have to design. So this is our web page. So we have used a background image. You can use any of your image as you want. You have your name here and the elements that are going to be typed out below. And as my image was a bit more brighter, so to create a contrast between the image and the text, I have used overlay. I have designed this overlay. The black film that you see over the image is the overlay. I have designed this overlay in CSS. I'll explain you how I have done it. So when you go in my CSS, so this was completely the markup that we have. So you can see we have main heading, where I have my name and the subheading, and the subheading will be injected dynamically from JavaScript. So we do not have to insert anything right here, we have to leave it blank. So this will be worked in JavaScript. Okay, so now we go in our styles and we see that I have imported this Montserrat font from Google Fonts. You can use any font that you like. This is the font that I preferably choose. Now I have reset the basic margin and padding. If you don't know what this is, I have explained this in my previous videos in deep, so you can check them out. So basically I have just cleared the padding, the margin, and the sizing of the default browsers, and then I have given a font of Montserrat to each and every, because I only have two elements right here. According to use, you can use the fonts you have. Then you can see in the header tag here I have given a background image, so the image that you can see right here behind, so I have given it, and I have given the height of 100 VH so that it can scale the complete browser, complete display size of the browser. And then we have our overlay. So this is the overlay that I am talking about, the black film above the image. So I have its width and height of 100%, and the position of my overlay is set to be absolute, so that my overlay this wraps above my header so that they don't fall below each other. So now I have given the Z index to be 2, so that the uh, overlay resides over the image and not behind. You can see if I turn my Z index to 1 and if I refresh my page, the background is removed. So to keep that, I gave the Z index as 2. And then we have our this title message class that we have to design our name and subheadings. So we go here and see I have given the position of absolute so that it resides above and not below the image, and then the width is 100% so that it scales on a large part, and then the height is fixed to be 250 pixels so that it looks much better. I have worked around and found that 250 pixels looks good. You can work around as according to your content, it's up to your choice. You can give the color of the text as you want. Then I have aligned my text to the center, and then I have given a top of 50% so that my text comes from here to here, but if I give 50%, so the 50% it is considered is from this top margin where the blue box starts. So I have removed it a negative 50% so that it goes a bit up and it gives a center field for the complete container. And then I have given my letter spacing, so you can mess around with this on your own. You can increase the letter spacing. So if you see, if I give 7, the spacing between each and every letter increases. It depends on as you want to keep them. And then we have our font size of heading and the styling of our elements. So this was the basic styles. Now let's dive into the main and important part where we create this section. Okay, so first of all you have to go to this website, that is I will mention this link in the description below. This is a GitHub repository. This is developed by Matt Bold, and the library this is called type.js. So we will be using this in our project. So you can go here and you can download the zip. So I'll just copy this and clone it in my working directory. So let me clone it. Okay, so it's getting cloned, just a minute. So as soon as it is closed, if you download the zip, you will get a zip folder. You can extract the zip folder and you'll get this files. So you have to go in lib and you have to select this type.min.js file, copy this file and paste it in your working folder. So here you have type.min.js, and then go in your index.html and link that in your index.html. Now you can see I have used a defer keyword in both the sources script JavaScript links file. So this is used to create the effect when, so that the JavaScript file is loaded after the HTML content is loaded, so that we do not have any conflict or errors in our console. So to overcome them we use the defer keyword. And now if we go in our script.js file that we have linked here, we go in our script.js file and we enter and we check if our document is ready or not. So you can see I have checked whether my document is ready. So here we have used jQuery. This is used to simplify JavaScript, and then we create an object of our typed class from our min.js file. Here we have the type class in our type.min.js. So we come here and here we have to give two parameters. So one is the class where we have to display our elements. So the class where we have to display is this subheading part. So we go and insert subheading, and the another one is object. Now this object contains various properties. So the first property that we are going to talk about is strings. So you can see you have various strings right here you want to get typed out. So engineering student, web developer, scroll down, stay connected. You can insert as many as you want and it will cycle through each one of them, typing one, deleting it and typing the another one. Now just by mentioning this it won't work. Let's see, if I remove all of these properties and if I refresh my browser, you can see the the speed at which it is typed is faster. So you can control each and every aspect of this and implement it. So I'll explain each and every property that I have used. So I have used the type speed. This is in milliseconds, so 70 milliseconds type speed. So after 70 milliseconds each and every character will be typed out. So this slows down the speed and eventually creates a better and human interactive typed effect. Then you can see I have looped true. If I remove this and refresh the browser, now you can see it loops through each and every one, but then once the array is completed, the array that we have specified here is completed, it doesn't type it back again. So here we have to place loop is equal to true, so that it loops through the image, loop through the array again and again, and it never stops. Now the next property I am going to talk about is the start delay. So this is the time after which the animation will start. So that as soon as the browser page is refreshed, you can see now if I refresh the page, the animation starts after a 1 second, that is 1000 milliseconds. So this is the property that shows from at what time that after what time the animation should start. And you can see there is a little cursor below here. Yeah, this, and it seems very annoying right at this place, so you can set the cursor to be false and it won't appear. Now you can see the cursor is gone and you have created a beautiful looking landing page. Now, as I spoke before, I am going to show you a very robust and a dynamic way to create multiple sections in your portfolio that looks interactive. So this is what I have created for you guys. So this is the section that we just created here, and we have a nice looking navigation bar with your title, brand name, and different pages that you want. Now you have your about section, on which on the left side you have your image, on the right side you have the about me heading, and now you have your content right here. So what you can do is use this method, use this and type this out. So and then remove the loop true. So when you remove loop true, the about me section will be typed out slowly so that the user feels the interaction, that someone is interacting with me, although it's just an illusion, but it looks a more bit subtle and good. So you can try this out and hopefully let me know if you have any problems while following this tutorial, and we will work around solving it. So yeah, this was all for today's tutorial. Make sure you like the video, because it is a very informative video for each and everyone out there who wants to learn something new and have a nice thing built around this quarantine. And hopefully you are safe. Make sure you subscribe the channel, because as seen in the statistics, 90% of the viewers haven't yet subscribed, and it takes a lot of pain and hard work to create such content for you guys. So make sure you subscribe and keep us motivated. Thank you.